180 not out, we're going strong. 180 not out, the game goes on.
Hello and welcome to 180.
खत्म हो गया। फिर कभी कभी 3-4 मैचेस के लिए हम भी इंडिया चले जाते थे, वो भी आ जाते थे, तो मैचेस हो जाते थे जो रिटायर्ड प्लेयर्स थे। तो लेकिन ये जिस तरह अब लीग्स हो रही हैं, देखें उसमें ये है कि एक प्लेयर जो है उसको एक एवेन्यू है कि अगर उसने इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट से रिटायरमेंट ली है तो देन ही हैज एन एवेन्यू टू गो एंड स्टे कनेक्टेड विद द थिंग which he has been involved with. एक और एवेन्यू खोल दिया ना आप लोगों ने। और उसके बाद जो है जो भी चीज देखें, जो भी चीज इस तरह की क्रिएट होती है वो जॉब्स क्रिएट करती है। और आजकल के जमाने में जो है आपको कंसिस्टेंटली यू आर इन्वॉल्व विद डिफरेंट गिग्स, लाइफ रिमेन्स इजी।
Now listen to Dave Watmore, a man who has coached both India, Pakistan and many other countries, comment on how there are many more opportunities today compared to the few decades ago.
Well, there's a lot more opportunities now, I can tell you. There's so many more opportunities for players who have retired to remain in the game. When I came into it, it was in 1995, a long time ago, and I was very fortunate enough to start with an international team, Sri Lanka. But there weren't too many options around, I can assure you. I was nearly going to go to a county second 11 team, but I accepted an offer from Sri Lanka. So, yeah, those going back a number of years, I mean, there wasn't much opportunity at all. And the remuneration's nothing like it is now as well. So, you know, I think a lot of people, not just players, a lot of other members of the public, you know, scorers and scoreboard attendants and journalists, so many more people in the game are able to, you know, earn a bit of a living out of it too now, and I think that's a good thing.
One of the first things that I want to tap into is the fact that a cricketer's career no longer ends with a national retirement. Thanks to various leagues all over the world, in India, Bangladesh, Caribbean islands, in England, and even in the US now, cricketers can continue to play as long as they are fit and are willing to offer competitive cricket. Legends League Cricket is one such effort. it gives the cricketers one more opportunity to perform in front of the fans who've shown them immense love and support throughout their careers, as well as gives the fan one more opportunity to witness their favorite cricketers. Legends League cricket has been a fantastic phenomena for extending the cricketers' playing careers. In fact, Legends League cricket calls itself the second innings of cricketers. Here is what former English fast bowler Ryan Sidebottom has to say about being a legend, but continuing to play the game with the same passion.
We still have that adrenaline, the buzz, the rush of wanting to win. Of course, yeah, we are legends or retired for a reason, but we still go out there and give our utmost, to try and win for the team we're playing with.
Now listen to what Brett Lee has to say about playing in leagues post-retirement.
Even that when you hang up the boots and you're not playing from a professional point of view, the chance to play in these leagues post the age of 40 and still getting packed crowds, still getting amazing, viewership on television. It's exciting for us. It's very exciting for, those people that have had you throughout that whole journey that can still watch you.
Commentary has been another popular avenue for cricketers after their in-field career is over. In fact, some players even alternate between playing for leagues and commentary stints. But this isn't something that's new. Cricketers have been known to join the broadcast team since the radio days. One of the best transitions from cricket to commentary was that of Richie Bannard, who became one of the most iconic voices of cricket. His partnerships with other cricketer-turned-commentators like Tony Greig and Michael Holding are some of the most iconic match commentaries out there. Walk into an Indian household and ask them to name one line from Indian commentary, and the odds are that someone is going to say, "Oye Guru, ho ja shuru." Navjot Singh Sidhu's commentary and his pearls of wisdom, often called Sidhuisms, not only intrigue people but have become a part of everyday parlance. Another iconic commentator happens to be Ravi Shastri, who was in the com-box in India's twin wins at the 2007 World Cup as well as the 2011, and most recently at the 24 World Cup as well. No one can ever forget his iconic line, "Dhoni finishes off in style."
Dhoni finishes off in style. A magnificent strike into the crowd. India lift the World Cup. After 28 years, the parties start in the dressing room, and it's an Indian captain who's been absolutely magnificent in the night of the final.
And with the advent of the broadcast in regional commentary, it is really growing like how. It is likely that you are going to see more of these legends showing up in the commentary boxes, such as Virender Sehwag in Haryanvi, who has been very entertaining throughout the IPL. Now listen to former New Zealander Martin Guptill, who was a legend in the field and is a legend in the commentary box as well, about what he has to say about the commentary box is evolving and how younger players are needed in commentary.
I guess there's a lot more guys going straight out of cricket into commentary now. I think you see, the likes of Aaron Finch come straight out of playing and straight into commentary, and he's done a really good job. He's done through the World Cup. He's done, still playing with a big bash, but commentating outside when he's not playing. So, he's done really well in doing that. There's a lot of former cricketers, starting to get more into that role now as well. So, it's certainly. Guys are certainly keeping in touch with cricket, I guess, after they've retired, and they're getting their cricket fix in a different way now. Yeah, I think so. I think the guys that have played more recently are, I guess, a lot more in touch with the T20 game, especially, and the way the one-day game has evolved as well. They've played that game and they know sort of the ins and outs of different phases of the game and how to play it. So it's the newer age commentators, I guess, a little bit more in touch, but then obviously you have the real legends of the game who played through the sort of 80s, 90s, 2000s. A lot of cricket, absolute amazing players, and it's still very good to listen to in the commentary box in the way that they play the game as well. So it's all very fascinating.
I then asked South African legend Hashim Amla about how he views commentary and if the commentary is getting smarter and more data-driven now, and what his views are on cricketers in the commentary box. Here is what he said.
No, I wouldn't say it's smarter. What I would say is there's certainly a greater scope for commentary now. Because there's so much of analysis available, you do need somebody to explain the analysis. And if you can speak on TV like a 10-year-old is watching, then you're reaching a very huge market, and I think that's probably that's why I love some of the comedy that I really enjoy. When I listen to them, I can get parts that are very basic, and I get technical things that, as a former cricketer, I can really enjoy. And you have different commentators who cater for different, different type of age groups. Danny Morrison for me in T20 cricket, I love it. It's just so entertaining, it's so robust, it's just casual. And in Test cricket you have guys like Mark Nicholas, you had Michael Holding, you had Michael Atherton as well. People I enjoy listening to because it's good, deep analysis, and they explain the game really good. So I won't say it's smarter, I just say they're now catering for a lot of a different variety of age groups.
Besides commentary, another profession where we often see cricketers make their mark post-retirement is the field of coaching. When one talks about iconic cricket coaches, one of the first names that comes to mind is that of Bob Simpson, who revolutionized Australian cricket. His tenure lasted 10 years from 1986 to 1996, and it was at this time that the team won the 87 World Cup, won their first Test series in 4 years, and even managed to win a match in Pakistan after a gap of 29 years. It was under his time as coach that the team became one of the most athletic cricketing teams of the era. The fruits of his labor continue to be visible today as Australia remains one of the top cricketing nations. Here is an interesting insight from Andrew Lepus, who was the physio of the Indian team between 1999 and 2004 and has since then associated with IPL as well as the Legends League cricket as a physio. While coaching is indeed a part of Australia's success, he also points that Australian culture also promotes sporting quite a bit. Here is what he has to say about why Australian fielders are cut above the rest.
As an Australian, we grow up playing all different sports. At school, we get, each week we're doing a different sport, whether it's tennis or cricket or volleyball or Aussie rules football or, netball, and every kid's exposed to a variety of different sports. So they're learning skills which can then cross over into, whatever sport they finally decide to pursue. So I think they've got a bit of a better background. So it was always a case of the Aussies were good fielders. And that's cultural because the governments and the councils always had great fields. Yeah. So the guys learned how to fall, slide, dive, playing football, soccer, Aussie rules. And so that's why in cricket those skills translated to being able to dive and slide and not hurt themselves.
Similarly, India too has had iconic coaches in the recent years such as John Wright, under whose guidance India not only won the 2001 series against Australia but also managed to reach the 2003 World Cup finals. The John Wright-Saurav Ganguly partnership was iconic, and the aggression that we see the Indian team today could possibly be attributed to this partnership. Similarly, Gary Kirsten had a similar effect on the Indian cricket team in 2011 when the team won the finals of the World Cup. Both Gary and John were former players themselves. Indian players too have coached Indian teams post-retirement. The most recent examples being of Ravi Shastri, Rahul Dravid, and now we have Gautam Gambhir. We've seen number of legends from the sport coach the team, including Anil Kumble, Kapil Dev, and the legendary Ajit Wadekar amongst others. With Gautam Gambhir recently announced as the head coach of Team India, it looks like the legacy is in safe hands. It was under Gambhir's guidance that the Kolkata team, KKR, recently won the IPL in 2024. With leagues having different teams and with every team having different batting, bowling, fielding and head coaches, it gives even more options for players to seek a post-retirement opportunity. In a recent conversation that I had with former Indian swing bowler Irfan Pathan, he tells me that he actually gave up offers from some league to mentor the J&K Jammu Kashmir team in 2018-19.
When I came to Jammu Kashmir cricket as well for 2 years, my contract was about, I don't talk about money, but my contract was only 20% of the money which I was leaving. With the Caribbean Premier League, I had contract of Caribbean Premier League in my hand with the league. On top of whatever the franchise will pick me, the league had promised me a certain amount. Canada Premier League, T10 Premier League, I'm talking about 2018, and one more league. So there were 4 leagues, and compared to that I was getting only 15 to 20% amount in JKCA. So it was not about money. I wanted to give something back to cricket, Indian cricket that too. And I was glad that I took that decision and came to serve Jammu Kashmir cricket, which helped not only me as a mentor, but overall Jammu Kashmir cricket as well. And a lot of guys came up.
Another Indian cricketer who has taken to the coaching role very well is Robin Singh, who played for the Indian side between 1989 to 2001 and has since been associated with multiple teams in coaching roles. I asked Robin Singh about his insight and approach about coaching, and this is what he had to say.
Coaching is a lot more open-minded. In nowadays, you were told you shouldn't really lift the ball too much. I was an exception because I played like that in the West Indies as well. So I think the coaching structure in the West Indies was very different to what it was in India. In India, there's a lot of emphasis on technique, foundation, formats, you're building a good base, which I think is very critical till you're about 19 or 20. Right? So I don't think that is something that one should go away from, irrespective of the formats that you want, because that is the only foundation that actually takes you, deep into your cricketing career. And it allows you to actually transform into playing the shorter formats of the game. The techniques in the game have not changed so much, right? I mean, the basics of the game have not changed so much. Bowling an outswinger, bowling an in-swinger, using the seam, all these sort of things, stepping out and hitting a ball. I think what has changed, the rules have changed.
Yes.
That has allowed players to play differently. The grounds have become smaller, which I'm pretty surprised, considering that the bats have become better. The fielding restrictions have actually assisted the batsmen. So the rules, in my opinion, have actually suited the batsmen a lot more than the bowlers. So I feel really sorry for the bowlers to a large extent. That's why, I like to see a game where, if it's a 50-over game, where the totals are less than 300, where you see teams are struggling to get to 300, but there's still a great fight.
While coaching and commentary remain the hot choices for players, some cricketers even take up umpiring and referee roles. Javagal Srinath has been the match referee for over 550 international matches since 2006. Similarly, Kumar Dharamsena, who was part of the Sri Lanka national cricket team till the early 2000s, found a second career as an umpire and has officiated over 350 international matches. Furthermore, cricket administration is another department where players have started to make their presence felt very strongly. From Roger Binney and Sourav Ganguly as the BCCI presidents to Ajit Agarkar as the chief selector, cricketers are making their mark in administration very strongly. This too is a tradition that has been around for a long while but has seen more prominence in the recent times. Even Sir Don Bradman served as a stint of chairperson of the Australian Cricketing Board once. I asked Dave Watmore if cricketers should take up administrators' role more seriously. He points out that it would make sense if the reasons behind that are right, because a former player understands the kind of pressure that other cricketers go through?
I think if the reasons are honourable, then okay, because that person has an appreciation of the levels of pressure that each individuals go through. But if the reasons are correct, then nothing like it as well. And players who are finished now have not only gone into administration, but they've also remained in the game as commentators, as referees, umpires, and coaches as well, like I did. And there's some really good young coaches coming along now. So it provides an opportunity for these guys to stay in the game and also continue to have a reasonable living, make a reasonable living out of it. So yeah, if the reasons are correct in the admin, nothing like it. Yeah, go for it.
In fact, cricketers have not only made their mark in the administrative part of the cricket world, but also in the larger scheme of things by becoming politicians. The first cricketer to contest the elections in India was Palwankar Balu, who lost to the legendary Dr. Ambedkar. Mansoor Ali Khan Patodi, the Tiger, was another legendary Indian cricketer to try his hand at politics, contesting the 1971 polls from Gurgaon, but didn't secure his seat. Since then, many other cricketers have contested and many have won these elections as well. Chetan Chauhan, Kirti Azad, Azharuddin, Navjot Sidhu, Gautam Gambhir, and most recently Yusuf Pathan have all contested and won their elections. Even Master Blaster Sachin Tendulkar was part of Rajya Sabha for a term. And just to add, even Harbhajan Singh is a Rajya Sabha member of Parliament. Cricketers aren't just going to the Parliament, some are actually making it to the Legislative Assembly as well. The most notable examples being that of Ashok Tinda and Lakshmikant Shukla. This isn't just an Indian phenomenon. In our neighboring countries, we've seen cricketers not only enter politics but also became a prime minister. Yes, I'm talking about Imran Khan. Arjuna Ranatunga and Sanath Jayasuriya both tried their hands at Sri Lankan politics. Bangladesh has a unique distinction where they have an active cricketer who is also a member of parliament, Shakib ul Hasan. This isn't just limited to the subcontinent. Ian Botham, the legendary English cricketer, served in the House of Lords for a while too. Similar examples can be found all over the world. On the lighter side of things, you can also see cricketers in entertainment business. Navjot Singh Sidhu's partnership with his fellow batters was iconic, but so was his partnership with Archana Puran Singh on comedy shows. We all know about the Kapil Sharma show. We've seen the Haryana Hurricane, Kapil Dev, the man who won us the 1983 World Cup, as a part of the bunch of movies. Cricketers Salil Ankola, who had short stint in the national team and continues to be part of television projects. Shikhar Dhawan was on a recent film with Sonakshi Sinha, and Ajay Jadeja too has been a part of films in the 2000s. To conclude, the average age of cricket team is on the decline. The average age of Afghanistan cricket teams for the 23 World Cup was just under 25, and the oldest average age was of England team, which stood close to 32. However, in cricket, much like the game itself, life often throws a second innings at the players. With more and more cricket now taking place all over the world, cricketers now have the option of doing a lot more after these retirements. But be it coaching, commentary, administration, analysis, or even politics, entrepreneurship and acting, cricketers have many more options compared to what they had in the past. And it is good for the players, the sport of cricket, as well as for the fans who get to see their heroes, their legends, on their screens for a longer period of time. That was all from me in this week's episode of 180 Not Out. I'll see you next Monday with another episode.
From humble beginnings, it started as a game. A battle ball, a field, and players with no fame. But little did they know, cricket would soon ignite a passion that will last through day and night. 180 not out, we're going strong.